Hey there! Have you ever wondered how some dipshit hillbilly would go about installing a fifth wheel hitch? Yeah, now you are. Welcome to another dumbass episode of I Hate Working on Cars. For my needs, this kit from Amazon, which I'll leave a link in the affiliate links below, is gonna do the trick. It will work on any stupid duty from 1999 to 2010, but the procedure you're gonna see going forward is for a 2008 to 2010 stupid duties with the long bed. You're also gonna need some fifth wheel rails and a fifth wheel. Back to the garage, if you're as lucky as I am, you got some farm truck that had a bunch of straw under the bed liner because the owner of the truck was obviously some lazy who didn't give a single flying shit about this truck and couldn't even bother to sweep it out before installing the bed liner. Not that I can't identify with being a lazy but this is some bullshit. But hey, the previous owner's not giving a shit about this truck is why I have so many videos to show you about working on it. To make my life easier, I'm going to jack the truck up, throw on some jack stands, and pull the rear tires off. This will give me plenty of extra room for my Oreo gut to work with. Curiously, this is not a suggestion in the manual. However, dropping and removing the spare tire is, which I didn't do because there's plenty of room to work. The next thing I need to do is take some measurements out of the directions and set up where the front fifth wheel rail is going to go in the bed. 32 1/4 inches is the dimension I needed, as shown in figure 5 on page 4. Before we move on, it's time for a word from our sponsor, Roto Rooster Plumbing. Got some hair stuck in your drain? Call Roto Rooster. We can relate. Once I have the rails set back, I need to make sure I have them centered between the weld seams in the bed. With that done, I can drill some tap holes with an 1/8 inch drill bit. Now, even though I followed the instructions, I still had to go back, test fit the bracket, and re-drill some holes, so, you know, whatever. With that bullshit out of the way, I'll use a step bit to make my holes bigger. With a fistful of parts, we can start loosely screwing things together. The big ass block goes between the frame rail and the bracket because, for whatever reason, Ford decided the frame here should be bent and dented. On the back side, install this large gold bar with a hole in it, a lock washer, and the giant grade 8 nut. For mounting down the rails, use a plate, a lock washer, and a grade 5 nut. Now that I have the front rail loosely installed, I'm going to drag my fifth wheel in position and pin it to the front and rear rails. At this point, I can drill out my guide holes for the back, then open them up again with a step bit and get the rear bolts installed. Don't forget to drill out the center holes as well. Just a note, since a truck bed is ribbed for your work and pleasure, if you are on the low point of a rib where your holes are drilled through, you need to install a shim in that location. Out of sheer luck, I guess, my truck ended up with all the holes drilled on a high rib, so I don't need to shim anything on the top. With all the fifth wheel bracket bolts loosely installed, you should have something that looks about like this. Don't get confused that this next clip is on the other side of the truck, but there are these giant U-bolts that need to be installed now. And that's all the bolts you need for the whole bracket. Just one giant bolt through the middle and a U-bolt. You should have used 10 bolts to hold down the rails, 5 on each one, as per the manual. Once you have all the bolts loosely installed, we can get to torquing them all down. We'll need a 3/4 and a 15/16 inch socket and a torque wrench. And if you're a mortal human like me, an impact gun. The smaller nuts we tighten down with the 3/4 inch socket, that's 1/2 inch hardware. And according to the instruction, we tighten that down to 72 foot-pounds of Torx. The big ass center nut, which we did with a 15/16 socket, that's 3/4 inch grade 8 hardware. You're supposed to find a torque wrench that goes all the way up to 212 foot-pounds of torque. So I found mine inside of an impact gun. And that's about it. Once you got everything torqued and hammered down, you're done. Go enjoy your RV. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. And hit the subscribe button so Google will know you're interested in listening to a North Californian fake a Southern accent. I guess that makes me a Southern Californian. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.